Okay, very good morning to all. Yeah, we are just about to start. So I hope in the previous session everybody uh, now able to install your IDE, your Python IDE, and you all are now comfortable to implement some algorithms. Is there any doubt with anyone? Any query in the previous sessions as we discussed? So we also initiated, I think MSCL 228 is over. And we started also, I think, not over, but yes, most of the things being committed. And I think in MSCL 229, we also started the basics that of MSCL 229. And MSCL 229. 228. Just give me a minute. Is there any doubt to anyone? How many of you really completed your part? How many of you completed that previous part? So we have again in today's session also we have a now session for the machine learning as well. And in the last session we completed that part, like that is 229 data science lab. So there are certain sections also of data science, and then we have to again continue and back with the machine learning AI. So I told you, I think if you can complete your all 20 experiments are there about machine learning and AI. So I hope you have initiated or started, and probably most of you completed. Okay, so no response means shall I consider that you are still, you completed or what, or still going on? I hope things going on. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm just going to share the screen. Yeah. So just give me a minute. I'm sharing the screen and we'll start. So your MCSL 228. MCSL 228 is more two major things: 10 practicals for AI and 10 practicals for machine learning. Okay. So anybody started working with R language also, or you're still working with the Python? Because in your data science lab, you are supposed to work with the R studio also, R language. And that R language, for basically for the R language, again, as I told you earlier, you can use a concept of Docker and download your R language within that Docker. Okay. And that would be easier for all of you if you can just go through with that particular part. I hope my screen is visible to all. So you can take a look. There we have a one section for our data science lab. That is section 2, data science lab. And in that case, it is mentioned that you are supposed to do the concepts and practicals with R or R studio language. R language for you want to be more comfortable with the R language. So I would recommend again to start your R language. Basically, these are the IDEs. R studio is one of the IDE. And again, the R language is quite more easy as well, similar like Python, because in this language, you are just going to write your variables, and passing the data is just like in the form of English you are processing. And you can extract your data, say you can import your data from Excel directly to R language, or data transmission. So it is just like a kind of a tool, because today we have various other tools for data analytics. Probably you heard about Power BI is one of the tool. Probably you heard about IBM, that is SPSS is one of the other tool. Or you might heard for Tableau is another tool. So these are the very famous data analytics tools. And for data science also, either we use these kind of tools, or one of the language. It's a language, basically R language, and they have a software also called R Studio. So you can use this IDE R Studio to implement your R language model and do certain practicals on this, right? So it's quite easy. It's not difficult part, but yes, there are a lot of methods and a lot of processing part. And again, your data is again the EDA format, that is exploratory data analysis. So you can use the EDA. So these, I think diagrams are quite easy, scatter plots, or histograms, or other, plots, or charts. It is quite easy for you to maintain and to process. So you can see some good different variants of charts, which is quite possible in your R language. So very, very simple. You just need to write your method, and you have a data set, and it automatically gives you the data as you want. So like simple way, you can see one method called summary of your entire data set, which you have just imported from Excel. So the variable of that, and then automatically they use a descriptive analysis. Actually, summary means a descriptive analysis, like in R language. So in this case, you can see you will get a min, max, median, mode, standard deviation. So basic architecture, basic information is available for analytical purpose. So you can try these basic algorithms, and simply you can make calculations, and you will get a proper results. So this is also a wonderful language, but to practice how to start and how to get into it, how you can make these charts. So our language is wonderful language, but for that, again I recommend, if students who have already completed their uh, 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 just give me a minute. Enter in. Okay, just kidding. I think we're not required this. Yeah. So this is how you can do, I believe. Yes. Good. Yeah. I think you can see now. And I'll minimize it. All right. So that's an extension actually where they must have initiated extension installed affecting quality call and all. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. So basically, we are supposed to use the R language. So the best practice is you can directly go and take a look in R. This is the R language, right? And you just go through with the W3 schools. There you will find a W3 schools. Okay. So there you will find a W3 schools, and there just take a look. We have a concepts of R, right? So we have the concept of R language. And in this part, I think now you can see we have a proper coding with W3 schools, how to use an R language. And in case if you are not supposed to install it, so again, the same practice, you have a try it yourself again with the W3 schools. So you can use like how to learn the R language, their structure, using the plots and other graphical explanation part, and your mean, median, mode, and all statistical methods. So all these basic examples and practicals were already mentioned over there. So you can try with R language, right? So this is what you can start for today if you want to go with the data science. So in your data science, this is the R language. You can see like just simply you write a data without any method or anything. Simply you mention any numerical value. It simply gives you the output like this. So your interface itself, without even a method or a coding, you can simply write whatever the content you want to press or forward to R, and it present that data to you. So this is a very uh, a little different process, but yes, you should remember the commands that I want to draw a plot, say 1 to 10, and I think this is the way you can define all the 1 to 10 plots are there. So this is another way of mention that how you can supposed to go through with x and y coordinates or plotting or so various commands, right? You can make changes according to your programs, your softwares, and otherwise I told you you better start with the Docker, and you can download a Docker image also. So we have a Docker image for our, in fact, R language or R studio also available. So you can try if you want to R studio. That's a IDE sort of, right? So you will get R studio. Docker image is available, and I think you can practice on that. Don't try to install it directly on your machines, because otherwise it is difficult for all of you to manage. A reason it would take a lot of memory, and initial process, initial demons would be always there, which creates a problem every time. Got it? So this is one of the way where you are supposed to manage, right? So you have a Docker, and you can find a image. You can just need to pull Docker pull uh, rocker slash RStudio colon double, or double model, or latest model. You can just try and copy, and I think you can go for it. It is just last updated in last in 5 years ago, 5 hours only. So you will get this latest one. You can try this copy to implement your Docker, right? Otherwise, there we have a code of R language. You can see R language with w3schools.com. So everybody start working on this ground and capture the data. As I said, that there we have a language, R language. So everybody please practice. It won't take too long, but today I think you can practice all the stuff. And finally, once you are through, there are a lot of questions given over there. So can you see your session wise exercises? So there are a lot of questions given over there that create a vector size of 10, having some values. These are the values, and now you have to compute some mean, highest and lowest values, or compute the length of the vector, and find the variance and standard deviations of the data of this vector using the formula and the variance and standard deviation. So compare these values by computing your variance and standard deviation using R function. So sort this data in descending order also. So this is just your first question. How you are supposed to do these kind of questions. So accordingly, this is, I think, page number 11 of MCSL 229. That is your data science lab. And there you will find this practical, right? So everybody just start working like this way, and you are supposed to do a lot of practicals on it. And in case you face any inconvenience, so let me know, because uh, that's why I told you to go through with W3 schools and learn at least how to write. So there you have an answer: mean, median, mode, percentile. All the basic methods are already there. It's mentioned like this. This is like you can find the data set, or you want to go with min, maximum, median. So it's like maximum method, min method, and part. Just forward your data over there, and you will get the results. Or in a proper way, if you want some data set, you can identify or make it a different way to present. So just try like this. This is what, like, you have a data set, and let's say we want to identify the minimum and maximum number out of it. So take any data set, and you can download a Docker Hub if you want offline model. Otherwise, you can start working on directly on R stats on W3 schools, right? And then you're supposed to implement all these sections. So there are various methods. Do it step by step, process and generate some results. Is that clear? Can you start working on it now?
Okay, sir.
If you have completed the previous sessions, then I think it's better to go for today's session like this. But still, if you have not completed previous session, then I recommend you all, first it's better you cover that Python with your machine learning and AI methods, and the sessions which were there. So complete those sessions, and then it's better to go by one. Your 2 to 8. So you have sessions in this way. So all the sessions, I think I have already shared the things to you, and we already discussed. Now it's your turn. You please help me in case you want any support. I'll help you. I'll guide you how things works. If you want any explanation, I think in the previous session we solved these kind of methods and these all algorithms, right? So quickly start the process. In case you face any inconvenience, let me know. And meanwhile, I'll show you some Docker practicals in case you want. Let's see, we'll do it. Some practicals today. So I'll show you some practicals also. Let's do it. So I have a Docker image images. So you can see I have a Docker images, and let's say we'll start with this Docker image, and uh, Docker ps-a, that is a list of all the containers which were in the running mode. So even you can identify the containers which were running, and you can start those containers as well, right? So you can find the details, and let's say we want to start. So there we have Docker space start space the name of your container. So press enter, and we are supposed to start. Okay. uh, Give me a minute. I think we'll start like this. It is basically to start with the interactive mode. So you're supposed to start like with the interactive mode, and once you are in the interactive mode, we'll able to get the link. Actually, we want link of this notebook, Jupyter notebook. Okay, or you can try, we can kill all the uh, previous running Docker containers. Okay, so let me check sudo docker ps-a,
Screen not visible,
and
sir.
uh, kill. We can select the container ID also to kill in case if we want. Some cannot kill because something not running right now. Okay. Okay. So if it is not
Okay,
running,
sir.
we can directly go and start with the container.
Sir, your screen is not visible.
So there we have a third option. Some conflict is already running now. Okay. All right. So we need to kill this part. Give me a minute. I'll check it for you. So I prefer you can also start doing practicals along with me. Would be really helpful for all of you, right? I'll show you some results. I think in the previous session we started and working with those results. Docker stop container ID. So we have one container ID. There we go. Now it's all stopped. So docker ps-a. It was a previous one which was there. And let's start with this data science docker already slash Jupyter. Okay,
Sir, your screen is not visible.
so you can stop and we need to kill, that is rm, and just paste this message. Now let's say we'll run. See, we got a clear signal that now the previous docker has been terminated. So now let us try to restart this terminal again. Great. And now we got a link, a proper link from where you can start a docker. We got a link. Copy your link and get into the docker. Now you have a port number 8888, as I mentioned. It's up to you. You can manage these port numbers as well, right?
Sir, your
And
screen is not
let's say I'll
visible.
start a docker in my system. So I think now the concept is clear, like how we are supposed to start, right? Hope you got an idea that how we are supposed to work on it. There you have the code, and you can check which code is this all about. And in the previous, I think, session, we discussed about some code using performance matrix. Okay, this is not for you actually, this is for some other confusion matrix, and I calculated. But I think you can see sklearn.matrix is one of the library where I try to import some variables out of it, and I try to identify the precision, accuracy score, recall score, F1 score, and confusion matrix. So that is what I need to identify, and we try to calculate all these values step by step. And finally, we got some results. So whatever is to be calculated, we try to perform this code, and we'll try to generate the same part. And same way, if you just go through, I also have a R language. So in your Jupyter also, you can continue and you can open your R language notebook, as you started with the uh, Python. So same way you can try R language also over there. I don't know which uh, this image you selected, but I told you in the previous session also that which image you are supposed to select. Okay, so that is Docker images. You can see I also have the same one, Jupyter slash data science hyphen notebook colon latest. So if you find out, this is what one of the link which we are supposed to do, and there you have both the languages supported, R language and Python. And in your sessions, in your data science sessions, along with the Python sessions, these are some methods which you need to calculate, you need to work upon. So you can use this IDE, which is good for Python as well as for R language, both. So you just make a one folder and share a one volume, that is a location from where you can access all those files. It create those files over there, and just you need to right click, make a new file. So you got an option that you want a new notebook, make new notebook, and start writing your code accordingly. To find the code, you can write a code from and even you can pick those code either from the R language, or in the same pattern you can find the code from Python. So in the previous session we discussed that as well. So you need to go with the Python, right? Python tutorial. So using W3 schools Python tutorial, you can try, wonderful part. At least you will get some basic idea. Very with simplicity it is being mentioned. So you can find these variable codes and all. And apart from that, otherwise, if the students who are quite good in practicals and who have already completed, so I told them to better to select your Python syllabus. And your Python means we have a uh, yes, in Python, let's say you are supposed to do some algorithm, you need to write some algorithm. Let's say how you are supposed to, and this is very important also for your exam. In Python, let's say in session 4, it is written that write a program to implement the breadth first search and depth first search. So, you have a hierarchy of the data set. If you have a hierarchy of data set, it means you are transferring your data from first node to second node, third node, and so on, and further. Then only if it is over, then you go to the next layer. So breadth first search means you are going widthwise searching, or you are going parallel practical searching, that is depth first search. So it is basically a kind of a two different searching techniques. Even there are many other searching techniques like best first search or other algorithms for searching available, but you need to identify how you are supposed to implement the various different searching techniques, right? So there you have a Python, and if you want to implement some code, let's say I'll show you practically how we are supposed to do. So I said like we want to go for BFS, that is breadth first search in Python, and DFS in Python, or simple breadth first search in Python. So you will get a proper geek for geek code with explanation. This is what your explanation is all about. So you have a breadth first search with the graph, how the thing works. So 0, you are on this location, and then you are targeting some data set, and there you have some data set, and according to that data set, it performs a position like 1. So width wise, then 2, and then it goes to 3, and then it goes to the depth. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and if nothing is there, then go back and search the depth one. So depth would come later, right? This is breadth search. So BFS, breadth first search. So the fundamental graph very clearly mentioned that how you are supposed to do all these things, okay? And what is the practical part of it, and try to adjust your nodes on that basis. So BFS is the different from DFS model. That is what you are supposed to do. You got that is also very well known as Dijikshetra shortest path, okay, algorithms. And that is also in your course. I have seen somewhere it is written that you are supposed to work with the Dijikshetra shortest path, and that is prim algorithms are the based on these three algorithms are actually based on how to search, and all is completely based on BFS model, that is breadth first search. Okay, so now we want to implement that data. We want the output something like that: 0, then 2, then 3, then 1, and then we want 4. Means, so you have a 0, and suppose these are the positioning, some numbers which were mentioned. So how you are supposed to do? Start from the breadth. So left to right, you go over there, and once the top layer is over, then you come to the nested layer. This is BFS model. So suppose you have some data, and you can organize your data in such a way that finally you will get the output something like this. So this is the practice where you are supposed to do. And now again, if you will change the model, and this is in your theory also, it comes across. Most of the time it has been seen that you will, in your theory exams also, you will find these algorithms. So get ready for such algorithms where you can see that you're supposed to work with these BFS and DFS. So starting from 0, that how BFS traversal model implemented. So you go with 0, let's say we'll start with 0, okay, and find the parallel layers. So first parallel layer, that means you find so let's say we'll go and visit to the 2. So 0 to go to 2, and from 2, then you have to find the parallel length of that. So from 2, if this is also, it could be a parallel, or any way you can go and get into that parallel model. So you can find that this is a simple layer started from 0 to 0 2 and 0 2 to 0 2 3. The moment you visit 3, now job is over. Your request goes back to the 0 position, and from there you got a nested, and there you will find 0 to 3 as a first visit of 0 level. And then the next level is to be initiated, that is 0 to 3, and 0 to 3, and then afterwards this 1 and 4 would come across, because these are the nested layers sort of, right? And we want something like this kind of result. So you need to, how you visit, how you process, and in the best part, you got a Python code also there and then. So you need to go and find the content, select your data, and find whether you will get this output or not. So I believe this is the best one. You can simply copy the data. The moment you will copy the data, go back to your Jupyter notebook, okay, and try to go back to your Jupyter notebook and open a new notebook there only. Rename your notebook. You have a rename part. So let's say I'll make it BFS, right? That is breadth first search dot ipynb, and simply come and paste your code. So now this code is directly yours code. You can try, but you must check that it is coming from collections, right? And we are supposed to import like default dictionary, default dict. So we need to check whether this library is available or not. For that, always try to export this line. I recommend you can simply copy this cell and make a new cell, okay, just above to this, and you will get a one new cell over there, and simply try to import. So just uh, you need to copy and simply you try to import, whether we can able to import this part or not. Otherwise they'll give you a lot of errors, right? And simply start enter and practicing. If it executes and there is no error, that means things works practically. So the best part, this library is already there preloaded in this Jupyter, this image. Okay, so simply you come to the location and simply you can run your code and follow with the result. So you got a result starting from the vertex, that is 2031, which is expected, and accordingly you can see from this result 2031 was expected. So this way you can try and you will find the complete code, that how it works, practically how it works. So I believe the theory, uh, algorithms, and the code is ready to go. So you can understand this code like this, very, very simple way. You can find and you will find a proper code as well, right? Is that clear? Can you implement the
Okay,
codes?
sir.
I think it's not difficult for you. Now you need to understand what is this code all about, nothing else. So explanation is ready to go. Same way, you have to do your DFS. Now you did a BFS, then further you have to work out with DFS. So according to your books, session number 5 was related to DFS. That is depth first search. So if I'll go with the depth first search, again you can try your depth first search code. So means it becomes easy for you. Only you need to memorize and you need to run. This is the practice which you all have to do. I don't know how much you are comfortable in Python or R language, but how to start, that's why I gave you the way, and how to process the methods given and the sessions which were mentioned over there. So it's better to start thinking like this. Right? So I hope you are doing practicals. What is the best practice to go through? How you will get the code? What is this algorithm all about? So with complete explanation, you will find. Clear? Another is DFS. So let's say we'll try DFS in Python, as we are supposed to do with DFS. And again, you will find a geek for geek code. So again, in this experiment, so what is the difference in BFS and DFS? Explain with example, or somebody will give you some graph sort of, and you need to identify how these method performs. So this is your depth first search. So again, same model, same practical which you did in your the same one which you did in your DFS, your BFS, and now it is in DFS. So same method, that you need to find the depth first search graph, find out that graph, and on this graph you can see that you have a data, and we are expecting the result like. So starting from this, let's say from one corner 0, 1, 0, then 2, then 3, and then 4. This is what? This is depth. First you are supposed to go with the depth, and then you continue with your next parallel one, then you go to the depth, and then you go to the next stop and find the next one. So if we'll go through in the other way, you have to identify from where you are about to start. What is your root model? So it is all up to you if you start working with a root model or what is expectation model. So you can try, either you're starting with 0, or let's say in this case we are starting with 1. So you have 1, 2, 4 as in the top, but let's say we start with 1, and the depth. So first we are supposed to go through with the depth, and this is what, like 1, 2, then 0, 2. So you complete 1 and 2, and then you find the depth of this 0, 2. So finally it becomes 0, 1, and then we are supposed to go to the depth first, so that is 3, and then 4, and then you will find 2. So that is what, like the input given in various different format, but finally we want the output, that is, let's say 1, 0, 2, 3, and finally 4. So how you are supposed to work step by step. So these are the inputs and steps, and finally you need to find out the code. So same way, simply you need to copy that same dictionary, same method, right? And we need to find the edges, and also we are expecting 2013 as a depth first search code, as per depending upon whatever the data set is being mentioned, right? So only there you have 0, 1, 2, and 3 on some content basis. So all what you need to do, go back to your Jupyter code, make a new notebook, and save it with now DFS. Okay, just save it with DFS, and in DFS let me place a code, directly mention and insert that code. Simply run your code and check whether you got the output or not. See, we got the same output what was expected by DFS model, and that is mentioned. So you can refer your program from where you pick that program. You can obviously refer the link of your Geek for Geek and all. So this is the way I think you will get a proper code, and you will get a data set, and on that basis you can mention the content, right? So there hash a reference, and whatever the reference you want to give, there you have the reference. And better you make it markdown, because in case of markdown, now if you press run shift enter, so you will get a proper link that this is what the reference we used, and finally you got the code. Is that clear? Now can you make your collections, all experiments? Shall I expect that you are supposed to share your sessions practically, whether you are really doing it or not? How do I get to know? So better you complete your AI experiments. 10 experiments are there, 10 sessions are there in AI, and again another 10 experiments are there in your machine learning with various different algorithms. So the purpose is to run the code is not a difficult task. The purpose is you should be very much theoretically sound, that what is the purpose of these algorithms, how and where we are using this algorithm, what are the purpose, and according to that purpose how get implemented. So for that, the next step to get into it is go by your Geek for Geek and find how you are supposed to implement. So let's say today we are supposed to implement another machine learning algorithm, and I want to go for a KNN algorithm, that is a K nearest neighbor algorithm, right, in Python. So you just copy KNN. I'll just show you this code also. Give me a minute. So let's say we'll want a KNN algorithm, right, in Python. So if you want to implement, in fact, these days, the explanation automatically come if you are using any Gemini, because Google search on the top gives you the detail about Gemini and all. So even you are not surfing those websites directly, you will find the KNN. What is KNN? How to proceed? That is supervised machine learning. Now, what is supervised? I think you are aware of what is machine learning supervised. That means your data is labeled, right, and used for the classifications and regression purpose. So how you can classify your data and apply some regression algorithms onto it. We are using this data, so it classifies a new data point based on the majority class of its k nearest neighbor. How you can identify which point, which value belongs to which neighbor. So is it belongs to, and accordingly the color changes, if you can see a small graph over there, right? So whether it belongs to a blue zone or red zone, so it is in the other way. It is the process of classification according to the pattern and according to the method based on your the supervised learning data set. So how you are supposed to do, again, even it also shows your Python code, that what all you need to import and with explanation. That is your KNN model, and how to fit again in your data set. So all mentioned over there. Otherwise, as I said, if you really want to find this algorithm, go with Geek for Geek with explanation. You will find the first generate the data, and then we'll try to visualize the data in 2D model. So there you have a code, and this is what the data set you will going to find it out, right? In this case, they are taking a sample of 300 some n samples, right, in the method. So it is basically trying to generate some noise and some samples like this, and noise values per zero point 0.3, that is uh, of you can say 30% or 3%, you can identify it's a part of a 30%, and random state is 42. So you need to understand all these things once you are going to generate. Finally, first you have to find and generate your data set, because we don't have a direct data set. Now my concern is, if you really want a good data set, this is how we are creating a data set, right? And some dynamic data set which we are trying to create. But purpose is not to create data set. Sometimes you need that data set which is already being defined. So I prefer, in that case, if you're really going to work on the real time data set, you want something. So I prefer one of the all the researchers generally follow some existing data set. Let's say we'll download that data set and then we'll write to code. Then I prefer go with Kaggle. In Kaggle, you take an algorithm. This is again, I'll show you the concepts of Kaggle as well. So in Kaggle, there is a KNN algorithm, that is k nearest neighbor from the scratch. So you got a complete code, and how you can able to generate, see the pointing system, the k nearest neighbor point. So which point need to be classified in two different like way or colors. And what is the background matrix model which it follows, the nearest matrix on which matrix it works. So that is usually, Euclidean distance mode is used, but other like Manhattan or Minkowski distance can be used to find out. So these are the three different way that what is the level of gap. If the gap is more in Euclidean, as wherever the nearest one, according to the nearest one, that color, that point goes to that particular nearest one, depending upon the pattern and the parameters which you have identified, right? So Manhattan would try to identify the angular part of it. The, let's say, like in this way, it's showing like 90-degree part we have. And suppose you are at particular location. If you got some angular part of Manhattan, and accordingly it gives you the distance, and on that basis of that distance, you'll find a color code that it should be either a blue or a red or something. Minkowski is basically, they said, let us try to create an angular, instead of angular, let's say we'll go with a curve. So there is a model of a curve data set, how to go with a curve data set. And in that case, you will find a famous, that is breast cancer data set, or binary classification problems for healthcare or other. So you can take some data set, and for that data set, they are giving you CSV files. So the best practice, you need to go and find these CSV files. You will get a data set in Excel files. CSV or Excel, one of the same thing, right? You will get that data. Once you will get the data, it shows you that how many rows and columns do you have. So let's say 569 rows with 31 columns. So that is, let's say for healthcare, you will get a real-time data set. And on that, we only pick that 3 rows and 31 columns out of it. 31 columns are there, but that is a header. You can say either 3 or 5 rows, which you can see in Python. So there you have some big data set. And let us then further try to process that data set using KNN model. So this is the real-time practicals. If you really want to implement in your projects, in the real-time projects, and if you are supposed to submit, or if you're working with any organization, and I think you are quite aware of that, how to get into it, because they will provide you their data set depending on any business application. It could be a healthcare, it could be a social media, it could be your financials, purchase, invoice, selling. It could be any type of data set, right? So depending upon your data set and depending upon the number of parameters which you have, on that basis we are supposed to write a code. And we need to figure out the files. See, there are many people, 169 people, who have already copied and edited into it. And you will get a proper content. And finally you will get a proper level of accuracy, k versus so k value, k nearest versus accuracy level, or k versus time level. So time series part is to be also covered in this way. There are various ways. This is the way how you can explore and implement your k-mean and all. Right? Understood what is, how to start with the scratch and how to get the things done, even if you have something related to some files, or many other categories are there on KNN. You can find some categories, that what model you want, some data model or some experiments. So, or you want some code. So even if you go to the code, they'll take you to that code side. And on that code, you can go and download that code. Or even the part is, you can even modify the code, or if you can just sign in. If you sign in, you can even run that code directly on Kaggle. There you have, see, introduction. This is again Jupyter, nothing else. On the back end, it is just like Jupyter, right? So that is why I recommended to everybody to go with Jupyter. So there you will find a code, again same code which you have just gone through. Simply you can copy each cell and paste your cell in your Jupyter, right? So this is the practice. Or if you just simply sign in, or there you have option run the current cell or run all the cells. So simply you run, you will get the output something like this. It performs, and you have some data. They'll collect, or you can go and find this file, CSV file, from this location. And further you will get a pre-processed data, split the data. Then you make your KNN model algorithm by using these all methods: predefined, Euclidean, Manhattan, and Minkowski algorithms. And on that basis, further you have to fit the data set. Now I told you, whenever you are in machine learning, we have to train the data, right? We have to train the data set, and we have to create a new model. So the model which we are supposed to create, that is related to KNN model, and we want to train the data set. So you have a self, means pointing on itself. Then you have a data X and Y train. So you have to train that data set, store your trained data set into the system, into the memory, right? And on that basis, further go for the prediction analysis. So your code is completely different, in a different strategy, how you are supposed to do, how you are supposed to run, and with all experiment complete code ready to go. And further you can able to generate the results. So that is why I told you step by step. So three major different steps are there for everybody. Please follow your steps in three different stages. First, if you are a beginner, go through with W3 schools. If you are you want to implement and you have to complete your all sessions as given in the IGNOU, complete with the concepts of Geek for Geek, wonderful part, right? For the beginners and for the middle and people, if you want to learn, understand algorithms and with Python data, then Geek for Geek is best. Further, you want a real-time data and you want to make a proper project, then you need some real data or some, I would say, at least for testing purpose, data set is available always on Kaggle. Collect that data set, find the Python code also written over there, and you need to download that data set and along with the code, place it and as per the location, manage their links, their reference links, as you can see in case of Excel sheet. Obviously that double dot, then you don't have like something like this. Okay, this is a CSV. All what we need to do, let's say we'll make a one folder, we'll keep this KNN and this CSV file within the same location and just mention the name of that. That's it. This is all what you are supposed to do, right? This is all what you are supposed to do and all, and accordingly execute the code. So you extract the data from Excel, import that data set into your Python, and make a machine learning model where your machine got trained, properly trained. Okay, your machine got trained and they get a proper data set. So for training, which was a method, I think that was very clearly, very with simplicity, they have elaborated that this is the way how you are supposed to train. You have to fit your, this is a fit method. Okay, and you are supposed to call that fit method, and the moment you import, your data set would be automatically fit to your system. Okay, and on that basis, then we'll correlate, we'll check where is my data. On that basis, you can go with prediction analysis, get neighbors using various other algorithms, Euclidean, Manhattan, or Minkowski Wiki. Excuse me. Find their distance and deploy that content into onto a graph, so that you can get a proper representation of the data set in the form of graph. So make your model, fit your model. There you are going to fit your model, X coordinate values and Y coordinate values. Okay, so this way you are supposed to mention it, and then implement step by step. Can you do so? Yes, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Yes, everybody. Can you do so? Is it easy? Is it good to go? So please try these
Yes, sir.
algorithms, and you can simply see there is an option you can download the notebook. So I'll simply download that notebook and we can import that IPYNB file, which is again Kaggle is also using the Jupyter on the back end. That is what I said, right? Only the part is we need to find out their this is what like their output directory, and where is that data set Excel sheet. So uh, even you can open the things in Colab if you want directly, that would be imported in the Colab, right? So find your directory, check your data where you have the data. Try to extract where is that data. Let's say because I have not logged in, so they'll not give you a proper CPU process, so it might take time to extract that data there. Otherwise you have a data set, simply you can open in a new tab. If you have a data set, there you have your data set. with the code how to perform that diagnostic and various other algorithms on that data set. So there you have a CSV file, simply go and download. But for that, you need to log in. This is how, and even it's not difficult to log in. You can simply go with login. Okay. And about who developed and designed and what they are planning to go for. What are their values? Total 32 columns, 31, 32 columns are there. And you are a lot of views and everything, that how it happens, how it works. The best part, you will also get some other data sets for various different purpose, different techniques. You can apply some other data set as well. So all up to you how you are supposed to manage. Try to use that data set, right? And try to download if possible for you. Let's say we'll go and you can try. Let's say I'll log in with Gmail to download that data set. I think for that you make a one separate data, your login, right? And now it's possible for you to download. See, it's quite easy. I got a data set as well, right? See what all the services they are offering. And even with the code, like within the column, the detail about how it works along with the details. So you will find what is the purpose of which column used for which purpose. So it is mentioned like this. Okay. So it's really good to go. And again, you want some code related to the same. The many authors are there, right? Three, excuse me, 3,579 people who downloaded or they have their updated code. You can find that code. Okay. And basis on the basis of that, you'll find a proper Python code like KNN with Python, as we did that one, or various other experiments being implemented as per the different providers and who recommended what. I think you will find 4, 5, 6, 12. 12 means that must be somewhere more on the content or more people over there, or let's say 57 people are there. So this is the latest one which is going on. So if you just click, you will find a proper content, right? And this way you can download and extract whatever you want. So let's say if I downloaded the files, uh, I'll go to my download folder. I'll find two files and let me cut and paste it in my ML folder. I'm just going to paste in my ML folder from the backend. That's it. So let's go back to our Jupyter. Yeah. And let's say if you refresh, see, can you see I got a code, I got a data set, that is CSV file. You can double click, even you can see the code. This is the complete code is there. Now you can see the entire data which I copied from Kaggle. And you can find the content, how to implement the KNN and all with the code. And let's say we'll start one by one, right? So this is what you run. You find the libraries, everything is going good. You need to run the second, the headers. So for import, whatever the things you need to import, go one by one, right? In case if this is what you have to check, it must be in a green circle, your white circle, right side, follow my mouse cursor. If it is white cursor, that means this cell has been executed successfully. If it is gray, that means it is still in process, you have to wait, right? You have to wait for the results. Sometimes the compiling and that would take too long to process. Then I'll come to the another stage. You can press shift enter to run also, or step by step you can run. This is also executed. Okay. And say now you have to choose these values and all that. It is like written something like this. And let's say we'll try to load the data. Now how do you will load the data? The data is already there with us, so you have to make some basic modification in your code. I want to access my data from the same location where I have this IPynb file. So I just remove that part, and now I'll execute this code, and finally I'm able to access my data. I hope you can see this. I had got a head, top 3 rows, and finally I got my data for KNN, right? So if this thing is going on perfectly fine, let's go for pre-process the data. Let's go and access. So it is being pre-processed. We define those data into some variables. We'll pre-process and let us try to split the data. Now, whatever the size of data you have, before you get into the machine learning, we have to split that data. And the test size is, let's say, 0.2. That means it is a ratio of 80-20. So 80% will train the data set, and 20% of that data will keep it for testing, which verifies the existing 80%. So you always remember, whenever you are in machine learning, practically you have to go for train, test, and split. 3 things: train, test, and split. That is why we got a method called train, test, and split method. Very, very important for machine learning models. Okay. So I have X trained and X test data. That means 80% data of X variable, X train, it comes into X train, and rest 20% of X axis data comes to X test. And same way, Y train and Y test. So Y train means 80% comes to the Y train, and 20% comes to the Y test by using the method train underscore test underscore split. Always remember the way how it works. Then this is your data set, the method which you are using, and it basically use a random state. Random state means whenever you run this code out of your data set randomly, it is not like first 80% they'll took and then 20%. No, it is not like that. Randomly, out of the entire data set, entire size, 80% randomly they'll churn that data, pick that data, and transfer to train and for testing. This is the purpose of this model. You must run this model, and let's say we execute it. I clicked on execute, that's fine, it works fine. And finally, we have a KNN model. Let's say we're trying to classify the data, because now we have a data which is in labeled form. And further, we are supposed to fit the data, and we have to predict that data. Okay, so how to fit that data and predict the data? Find the algorithm of your class. So it is again now, oops, object orientation part is being used in KNN right now in this code. So this is little good code, I would say. And for more details, I already told you to start. You have a oops concept in Python. In W3 schools also, you must have gone through what is the oops concept in Python, right? So you are supposed to go through from that track, and once you are comfortable, come back, and you will find that we are going to start a class, that is KNN class, and let's say we'll try to initiate. Now, what is the init method? Underscore underscore init underscore underscore. Can anyone answer this? What is this? Somebody who know object orientation, like in Java or C++, you might heard about. There is a concept called constructor. There is a concept called constructor in, object orientation. So in this method, we are trying to create a constructor. Whenever you are going to, so you are supposed to create an object of this class. This constructor will automatically execute, and that is for the initialization. And in this initialization, we need to write self. Self is basically to point on itself. So it's a self pointer, a variable which you always have to mention in Python. Okay, then we have some variable, let's say k equals to 3, and which matrix you are supposed to do, let's say equilating. So 3 matrix you have already seen. Out of that 3, we are supposed, let's say we are supposed to, uh, uh, by default, we are taking it as a Euclidean matrix, right? Where p equals to none. So that is a parametric part. And finally, whatever the variable comes from this object, this parametric of this constructor, will keep all these variables for the self-learning model, so that we can further use these variables in the other methods. Or so that becomes a your within the class parameters, and you collect the data from constructor, and that data finally comes to the within the class. Then you have method called Equidine, you have a method Manhattan, you have a method Minkowski. So these 3 methods, simply you are passing your variable values, v1, v2, and again same way, and you are supposed to return their results. And let's say this is what np dot square root of np dot sum, where v1 minus v2 with the power of 2. So this is what like your methods for Euclidean, Manhattan, and Minkowski. Finally, we have 3 good methods from where we'll churn that data, and finally we are supposed to fit the data. Now once you fit the data, then actually your data being trained into the within the class with x dot y, x dot train, and y dot train. So let's say first we'll take the trained data set. That is what we are supposed to fit. Okay, so 80% data we are supposed to identify from the trained data set of x and y coordinates, and we'll place that data into a class, into a method. Then we'll take it to the x test method for prediction. Now whatever the data is in the testing form, that is 20% data of x-axis, that is what we are supposed to correlate with our trained data set. How can you do this for prediction? So let's say I'll create an array of prediction, and over there you start with the loop, because data is coming from x test method. So you have a collection. For each row, the data comes into the test row, and from each test row you need to find the get neighbors. You need to find the value of get neighbors, right? And the moment you find the get neighbors value, so that comes into your variables. Same way you need to find the majority level. So this is the way of classification. Append your majority for predictions, and finally return one numpy array. So np is the object of numpy on the top, if you must have seen. So np dot array, and we got everything in the form of one collection, that is preds predictions. Okay, so that is a collection which comes whenever we'll run this method. This is one of the method to make the prediction, how you can make certain predictions. So understood how can you do a same thing on share market? Can you predict like tomorrow what would be the value of Tata Motor share, or any company's share? Can you predict based on these 3 variables like Euclidean, Manhattan, or this all 3 that is Minkowski algorithms? And on that basis, these are the matrix which they try to identify. And can you give me the prediction that what would be the Monday once the share market is open? Can you apply the data set of share market on this particular part and for particular data set? So you need to find out the data set. Data set, let's say for last 5 years or 10 years down the line, if you have a data set of Tata Motors or any share, let's suppose, right? I'm just taking example. It's a hypothetical part, right? So you take that data set and you will easily find that data set from finance sites and various other sites. So you collect that data set, transfer that data set into the Excel sheets, convert in CSV, and in those CSVs, simply import those CSV into your KNN algorithms. And according to the KNN algorithm, try to make a model, a machine learning model, and accordingly you make your proper data set. Take some sample values. Now suppose agar ye value ho, so again that data comes from that sample only. So we'll apply and check the level of accuracy of your data set. So 80% data to be get verified by 20% of sample data set, that is in testing data set, right? Same way, so we are talking about, like, say, some healthcare disease or some cancer disease or something which you can able to identify. This is how it is working. And on that basis, you find some values, create a list, and append and place everything into the form of neighbors. And finally, what you are supposed to do, let's say we'll return some neighbor. This is what this entire method is all about, that is KNN algorithm. So let's say we'll try to run, and the moment you will run, almost things done, it's executed. Now apply algorithm. So we have compiled everything. This is just for the compilation. Now we have to call it. Okay. So you are supposed to mention one more method called accuracy. What is the level of accuracy? How can you find out what is the level of accuracy? So to find the level of accuracy, simply go and run this method of accuracy, and once it is executed, go to the another layer, run this method also, and finally you got a sklearn accuracy level is 87.71%. See, this is what the percentage of the accuracy you identified. How it works? Simply you import your neighbors library. So KNN classifier. So K neighbors classifier library. And you already have neighbors, right, with the distance of, let's say, 5n. So CLF object, and will fit that CLF object with the trained X trained values and Y trained values. So we got a CLF object and CLF dot predict for X trained value. So at this time, the prediction method executes. You will get the result in pred value, one object preds, and on this pred object, we can go with the accuracy level. So what is the best way of accuracy? To find the accuracy, you need to place the collection, whatever being calculated as per your data set. So that pred value comes to the accuracy part and compare with the Y data set. So you trained with the, see, just take a look. You trained with your X trained data and Y trained data in the collections, and you try to implement a predictions on that basis. But to find the accuracy, we have X and Y data set, and X and Y trained data set to be compared with the Y testing model. So return those values, like whatever the value being calculated by 100, because then you will get in a proper, otherwise it is in the points actually. So that is why 100 into so prediction is equals to Y test dot mean. So we find the Y as a collection of Y axis data. We find the mean value, and that mean value is to be compared with the your existing trained data set. So accordingly, you will find what is the level of accuracy, where it goes, and all. So this is the one wonderful part. And you got a sklearn accuracy level according to sklearn algorithm. Finally, this library sklearn, which is the neighbors, as find the neighbors over there. And please don't use this grammatical issues and all. It's not grammatical mistake, it's a complete library in the same way. So you must write the spellings, don't, and you must ignore, like right now, if you can. No, we don't have. So this is what you can try and find the accuracy, and you got the accuracy. Now let's say we'll try some more experiments on it. And the effect of K on accuracy. What is the effect of K value, KNN, K value on the accuracy? So this is what labeling, plotting, and demonstrating how KNN work with the Euclidean algorithms. So let's start with this. Okay, and now something is different. 10th row. X predict, where we have predict. Now just take a look, there we have a predict. Okay, and what is X test value? So okay, I understood that part. Basically, we have not mentioned everything that was in the class, within the class, and now you are running outside and you're talking that to call these methods directly, prediction values and all. Where is the data of X test? Okay, so whenever you are splitting and all, let me try and run that one, X test and all that. Mm, where we have trained that part. Okay, and X test and Y. So that is within the method. Actually, it is not a global variables. So it is a local variable within the class. So either we have to call this method within the class, then only it works. Otherwise, yes, it is what like to find the accuracy, we need this data set values. How can you fit X test value? What is X trained value and Y trained value? Mm, can we print those values? So you need to find out that X trained, and we don't have X trained. Outside the project, we do not have. Actually, you are again trying to fit the data set, right? So the best practice, I think, if we are running this code and there we already have the data set, and I think it's better to take same data set, same CLF fit method to call these all algorithms. So let me try, and there you find the prediction, that is good to go. And predictions which we are targeting, this is what we are targeting, but that data comes from there we have some data from this. Okay, and we are just going to invoke this method. So this is the accuracy. Obviously, this is a separate experimental values which we are supposed to copy and paste it over there for now for various different algorithms you can try. So this is related to plotting. Okay, give me a minute. There you go, you have this data set, and afterwards, let's say we'll go in this way. In that same method I just mentioned it, and you already have CA, this is classifiers, and we are calling KNN equidine, and then we are running. Let's try this. Give me a minute. Hope. No, it's being pointed again on the prediction. So let's not, yeah, this is fine. Okay, so which method is this? This is KNN, spelling of KNN. Where is KNN? At the beginning, we must have somewhere KNN. This is K small double N. K small double N. And we are passing K into a K. Is it like asking for a K value? Okay, which is 3. That's fine. So we are calling this method K, then matrix Euclidean. And I think it was already Euclidean, right? So in such case, instead of passing some value, because already it's mentioned similar like that, we are supposed to run. This is what executed, this is executed, and finally it stuck at this place. And the message is you don't have X. The accuracy is highest from the K small value K, and then goes down and flatten off. Okay. Invalid index to scalar variable. Need to check this method. Where is it? So my purpose, I'll just debug it, but meanwhile, at least you can try other codes, and let me try and debug this as well. Prediction. Okay. Predict. Where is predict method? There we have predict method. X test. Okay. Okay. Then what we want to run, let's say this instead of accuracy. So probably some error might be with the data set also, because it's indexing to scale variable. Invalid index to scalar variable. Whenever it is trying to index with the what is the X test value, even we don't know about it. Because it's randomly being picked up. See, that happens whenever you have an incorrect data set also. Always remember, you have to cross check what the data set you are using, and in case if there is a minute problem, so that is why before we apply any data set on any existing training model, you must transpose your data and find whether your data has been normalized properly or not. Because if you just place a one single bug and you train your data set, that would be a big problem, because that time then further the result won't be accurate, or even you will get these kind of errors, right? So that could be a one of the reason of your data set issues which we are supposed to find. And accordingly, simply there is an observation, we can run the code and directly we can go and run this code. Same thing happening with the prediction part. So we have to find out why X test data is not being placed into the predict method. Okay, do we have a X test method? Let me try something now. See, we got a data. This is what your data has been compiled in. That's what I found. We place that data and try to print that data. Okay, so I got this one. This is the statement which I entered within this part. I try to find the X trained value, and now I have to find the X test value. Let me try again. So test value is also there. That means both are ready and both are working. So if that test value goes to those variable or not, that we have to check, because some indexing issues are there. So we have test value as well, because finally we have to send the X test value. Okay, X underscore test dot values, which are supposed to send it to this method. Now it means data is fine with us and we are supposed to send that data. Okay, so let's go and get into a predict method. Once your cursor goes to the prediction method, there your prediction method was working fine. Okay, so for X trained, Y trained, and for testing, you find this exactly it is working with the predictions, and that's what you can able to figure out your accuracy, right? So it was working very well. It means things are going in the proper way. But not in experiments. Code is going on, it's running fine, but not in the experiments. So we need to check, because your KNN also executes fine. This is how you have already initiated. And to find, obviously you have to start from the beginning to fetch where is your data, scale it. Okay, find your data, reload your data, to found your data, pre-process your data, split your data. So you need to remember these steps. These are the steps whenever you are working, right? Load all your libraries, load your libraries. This is in every machine learning model. Only the model is different, algorithm is different. KNN, instead of KNN we can try some other. But in generally in machine learning, you will find load your libraries. This is how we loaded. Afterwards, load your data set. Fine, we got our data. Pre-process your data. Pre-processing means it try to drop if anything diagnostics or if values are incorrect in their synchronization model of integer. So always remember your data must be in integer. All the data must be in the form of integer, right? And then we'll try to split the data set and convert that data, pick that data, and further we'll try to run the class. The moment class is being loaded, and afterwards we'll try to find the accuracy. So in this accuracy, again loading issue. with this particular part. And we have already seen 87% accuracy. There we have, compared to the existing model. So I think model overwriting is a concern as well. So we have two matrix which we are targeting, and every time X data is an issue. X test dot values. So values are there, only CLF method is not picking up my data. CLF predict. Let's go back to the class where we have predict method. There we have predict X test data. So before we move in, let me try to print X test like this. And let's try this again. It's being executed, and let me remove this now. And now let me try. So indexing error, your data is not able to get indexed properly. Fine. And there you have a code of prediction. We won't be able to index this properly. 00 append NP prediction. So the problem is there. Okay. Probably it is also one of the reasons that you are trying to overwrite again and again KNN. So instead of overwriting, we can try one by one. Okay, let me start again. The output is supply R algorithm. Fine. Got an accuracy level of extrained. Okay, you are trying to attempt to access a single valued variable, a scalar, using indexing. That an attempt to access, okay, as if it were a list array or other indexable data structure. अच्छा, पहले वाला वो मेथड रन हुआ ना, तो वो ऑलरेडी अदर इंडेक्सेबल डेटा स्ट्रक्चर बन चुका है, राइट. सो दैट इज व्हाई इट वाज ऑलरेडी इंडेक्स, और इसीलिए जो पहले एक बार इंडेक्स स्ट्रक्चर बन गया है, सो इन अदर वे मींस वी हैव टू close this program properly. We need to flush the memory again. We need to create a new data structure with the same variable names, and because it was already indexed, अब जो indexed हो चुका है वो read only form में गया है, इसलिए बार बार जब आप रन करते हो तो कहता है नहीं, I cannot able to create that. Already it is there with us. In this case it is already with them. So let us try. इसमें आप कह रहे हैं कि प्रेडिक्शंस और वो सब कुछ की वैल्यूज बदल सकते हो, एक तो ये ट्राई कर सकते हो, और अगर ये लिखना इनकरेक्ट है, द करेक्ट वैल्यू इज लाइक प्रिंट समथिंग, दिस इज डोंट राइट विद द पोजिशनिंग, राइट अ जनरल मॉडल ऑफ द वेरिएबल सो दैट यू कैन एबल टू फाइंड इट आउट. हालांकि हमने लिखा तो यही है. ओके, सो इंडेक्सिंग इशू ही है, नथिंग एल्स. तो जैसे ये देखिए इसमें जो आ रहा है ना मेजोरिटी 0 0, व्हाई यू आर राइटिंग 0 0, दिस इज व्हाट इट इज सेइंग समहाउ, है ना. ओके, सो इट्स अबाउट टू फिट द डेटा सेट. कहाँ है हमारा प्रिडिक्शन वाला पार्ट, एक्सपेरिमेंट, लाइन नंबर 10, line number, this is what predict can be print, and let's say we'll do this, and now can we run this? Yes, that's what. Again output. Great. So I hope now you understood how to debug also. I tried everything in front of you, and what is the only problem, because the data set has already been initiated. जो बन चुका है पहले से ही डेटा, बार बार हम उसे overwrite कर रहे हैं, and that is a scalar data. And once it is a scale data and indexed data, जो इंडेक्स हो चुका है आप उसे दोबारा से री इंडेक्सिंग नहीं कर सकते. उसके लिए या तो आपको सिस्टम को शट डाउन करना पड़ेगा, दोबारा से इसको मेमोरी रीएलोकेट करना पड़ेगा, एंड देन यू विल गेट अ डेटा सेट. क्योंकि ऑलरेडी डेटा सेट है, तो व्हाट आई डिड, आई सिंपली इग्नोर. बार बार प्रेडिक्शन क्यों बनाना, ओवरराइट क्यों करना, राइट. सो सिर्फ एल्गोरिथम ही तो बदलेगा. तो वो ऑलरेडी वो कह रहा है जब इंडेक्स हो चुका है, तो इंडेक्स हो चुका है, तो आई जस्ट प्लेस अ कमेंट ऑन दिस लाइन एंड रेस्ट एवरीथिंग देन स्मूथली वर्क्स, एंड यू विल गेट द रिजल्ट. लॉजिक क्लियर हो गया? This is the way how you can try, and you can same way now also you can let's say there is not any further requirement of this print, and in this case also whatever the data being placed, हम इसमें भी कहीं prediction कर रहे हैं क्या, नेक्स्ट लाइन में लास्ट वाले में. let's see, are we going to place the data in prediction? अपेंड कर रहे हैं, प्रेडिक्ट ये कर रहे हैं, राइट. देयर यू हैव अ प्रेडिक्शन. इसको भी मैंने कमेंट कर दिया, और इसको एक बार रन करके इसका भी रिजल्ट ले लेते हैं, एंड फाइनली यू गॉट द रिजल्ट सिमिलर लाइक दैट. सो ऑल एग्जीक्यूटेड सक्सेसफुली. ठीक है, वो पी वर्सेस एक्यूरेसी लेवल एंड पी वर्सेस टाइम लेवल, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन वॉट एवर द डेटा सेट यू हैव, उसके अकॉर्डिंग आपका सिस्टम रन हो गया. रेफर टू दिस. तो देखिए ये है टेक्निकल पार्ट. आपको जो रियल टाइम डेटा और डायग्नोस करना है, डीबगिंग करना है, दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू गो फॉर, राइट. I hope everybody understood now. Let me finally rename this notebook with K and N, and let's just save it. क्लियर है जी? फॉर द रेफरेंसेस हैं, पूरी नोटबुक आ गई ना, जस्ट गुड. किसी को कोई डाउट है, कोई क्वेरी? तो आपको k वर्सेस एक्यूरेसी एंड k वर्सेस टाइम इसमें निकाल दिया. ऑब्जर्वेशन में क्या है? द एक्यूरेसी इज हाईएस्ट फॉर अ स्मॉल वैल्यू ऑफ k, देन गोज डाउन एंड फ्लैटन ऑफ. ठीक है, तो ये एक्यूरेसी जो है जैसे जैसे वैल्यू बढ़ गई, मतलब पहले तो डाउन और ये फाइनली फ्लैटन वैल्यू आ गई एक्यूरेसी, के वर्सेस एक्यूरेसी. And the prediction time in the independent of k, this is because we calculate the distance between all the points regardless to the value of k, right? तो distance निकाला इन्होंने, टाइम कितना डिस्टेंस है आपके हर पॉइंट में इन कंपेयर टू के एज पर द टाइम्स, इसलिए आपका वैल्यूज अलग अलग वेरी कर रहा है और उसमें रिजल्ट्स उसके अकॉर्डिंग मिल रहा है आपको. So there are more efficient implementations of KNN that than this. So you can even make certain more other areas and ensure your data is accurate on that level, or make some changes, and then you will get the results. ठीक है जी, इज दैट क्लियर? तो करेंगे, प्रैक्टिकल करेंगे कि नहीं? देखिए इस तरह से मैंने आपको पूरा प्रॉपर एक एल्गोरिथम बता दिया. And I think it's better you can start by your own. कोई डाउट है किसी को? इज देयर एनी डाउट?
No, sir.
Okay, so I'll just collect your names. Yes, is there any doubt? ML is not required. It's done now. Downloads. Docker. Fine, I think I'll go by this. Where is it? Fine. There we go. Yes. All right. Yes, is there any doubt how to process all these things? So in fact, see, there is also some errors in from where we picked that code, but most of the things now being sorted out, right? So you can try Kaggle as I have shown you how you will get the data, and say for just to go with a cancer data set, I just pick any random data set. You can take any other if you want, right? So go with one by one and start practicals. Still you face any inconvenience, so let me know. I'll help you to understand. This is what Geek for Geek model, and you can try in a simplest step if you want to run. They have a simplest step. So this is also KNN cross validation for accuracy versus K, and then you'll get the result. Even though they implemented the confusion matrix. अच्छा है रिजल्ट, ये भी आप ले सकते हैं, ट्राई विद गीक फॉर गीक, राइट। कोई डाउट है जी, कर लेंगे अभी। आई होप नाउ यू कैन प्रैक्टिस। Standard scalars features by removing the mean and scaling to universe values score. So scaling का ही error था, right? Scalar errors थे. You can try the same code with 70-30 ratio. हमने क्या कौन सा किया था, 80-20 ratio. So you can try 70-30 ratio as well. Ensure the reproducibility. So that is the random state number है, so that it reproduce the data set randomly. And for that we use this number 42. Stratify Y maintains the same class distribution in both training and testing, which is important for balanced evaluation. Right? Y at the time of train test split method, what are the parameters which you are using in train test split method? So it is mentioned like this. I have to take some medicines and all. So yeah, is it good to go? You can try more code, similar code like this way. Well, let's say create one more file and let's say rename it with again KNN. This is geek for geek. Okay. So let's say we'll create something like this and then start copying the data. I'll close breadth search, depth search. There we have geek. So you simply copy your content, right? So there you have a data set. Let me copy in fact entire part. Fine. And make it markdown and run. This is how you have data. Okay. There you have some code. Then let's try again to check. Okay. See, you got a proper 2D feature depending upon, because this is randomly we created a data set, right? In Kaggle, we collected the data set, right? We have a data set in CSV. In this case, we use the methods to generate random data set. And as it is labeled as x-axis पे क्या है, feature 1, और वाई एक्सिस पे क्या है, फीचर 2। तो फीचर 1 गॉट कंपेयर्ड विद फीचर 2। आप कुछ भी हेडिंग्स डाल सकते हो, एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू दोज हेडिंग्स यू कैन फाइंड लाइक व्हाट आर दीज कॉलम्स ऑल अबाउट। और ये आपने पांडास का जैसे डेटा फ्रेम लेते हो पीडी, यहाँ पांडास का पीडी ऑब्जेक्ट है, and you collected that data randomly for these columns and generate a figure and placed on the scatter plot. So once you place everything on the scatter plot, you will find the code like this. So it means it's running perfectly fine. This is what the output we were expecting. And next, let's say we'll pick the data, copy, and go with the next step. This is your next level. Yes, this way. Same you can do there as well. Give some spaces after hash. There you will get the code. This is step 2. Now next, after this, we want a train test split for machine learning. Excuse me. So it is being done. इसमें 70-30 रेशियो पे काम कर रहे हैं. So test size 0.30 है ना. So there we have a content over there. Then we'll take another point. How to fit your data set. Now let's go back, pick that content, run that content, and you got a 87% accuracy. Now you understood why we did a multiplication with 100 to show you what exactly that result is all about, right? So whatever the accuracy and all you find, you can even print it like say we want that value to be get predicted with the, let's say 100 multiply by this and all, and then try. So okay, this is what printing purpose. See, there we go. We got a percentage, exact percentage, that how you will find the accuracy of that. Otherwise, if you'll not write like this, even it is okay, because 0.86 means that is 86 level or 87%, whatever. जनरली KNN का रिजल्ट लगभग 86-87% के आसपास दिखता है, बिकॉज ऑफ see this is 87%, it is accurate approximately, right? यही हमारा prediction था, and there we got a prediction of 87%, same results, right? And then let's say cross validate to choose the best K point. What is the best K point over there? For that we'll paste. So let's get into it and pick that data for evaluation, and there you place your code and compare. See, you got a data. कितना आसान है, मतलब बस आपको समझना है, स्टेप समझने हैं. इट्स नॉट डिफिकल्ट टू गो फॉर, बट यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दीज एल्गोरिथम्स अगर टेक्निकली आपको कहीं इंप्लीमेंट करना है तो. ओनली द डिफरेंस इज codes are same. Every time your codes are always same. What is the difference? Difference is your data set. So you need to understand the purpose. At least even in your exams, it's better you write the purpose of that, and the steps what you are supposed to implement, and afterwards what you are expecting. Even if you'll write these kind of things or some common methods, say this is what the method used for this purpose and all, and if you just mention these kind of things, would be give you a best opportunity to perform. ठीक है, तो ये याद करने का तरीका ये है। और प्रैक्टिकली तो बहुत ही आसान है, क्योंकि सिर्फ आपको डेटा सेट ही तो बदलना है। लाइक आई टोल्ड यू, इट्स अ हेल्थ केयर और कुड बी एनी टाइप ऑफ डेटा सेट, रैंडम डेटा सेट। केएनएन तो सेम रहेगी ना, राइट इससे जो आपके एक्यूरेसी लेवल आ रहा है, यहाँ आप चेक कर पा रहे हो कि इसका क्या क्रॉस वैलिडेशन है, क्रॉस एक्यूरेसी वर्सेस के। तो के पॉइंट्स कौन से हैं जो वेरी कर रहे हैं, और कहाँ किस तरीके से। तो जैसे नंबर ऑफ के वैल्यूज इंक्रीजेस, उसके अकॉर्डिंग आपका एक्यूरेसी लेवल कुछ डिक्रीज हो रहा है ना। स्टार्ट में तो बहुत अच्छा हुआ, देखिए इसी तरह से पता चलता है आपका डेटा सेट जितना जितना बढ़ता जाएगा उस हिसाब से आपकी एक्यूरेसी आएगी। द मोर यू हैव डेटा सेट, इसलिए बार बार क्या बोलते हैं, इट्स बेटर फॉर हाई लेवल एक्यूरेसी इफ यू वांट, बेटर टू कीप मोर डेटा। अगर मैं सिर्फ 5 रिकॉर्ड्स लेके या बेसिक के वैल्यूज अप टू 5 लेता तो मेरी एक्यूरेसी लेवल और हाई होती, वो लगभग 88-89% होती है ना। और इसको थोड़ा सा आगे हम ले गए, सो जैसे ही के वैल्यू को हमने थोड़ा सा शिफ्ट किया, 0.5 से लेके 7.5 पे शिफ्ट किया, तो जब हमने 7.5 पे शिफ्ट किया तो देखो हमारी एक्यूरेसी लेवल लगभग 89% पहुंच गई। So what is the best practice, where what is the k value? You have to identify what is the best practice of your k value. ये k value आपकी लगभग लगभग 6 to 7 के बीच में थी हाई, या फिर आपको मिली ये हाई सीधा 11 के आसपास। 11 के आसपास आपको के वैल्यू हाई मिली, उसमें हाई एक्यूरेसी आई, यानी आपका जो के पॉइंट होगा वो लगभग या तो होना चाहिए आपका 6 के आसपास, 6.5 के आसपास, या होना चाहिए 11.5 के आसपास। अगर ये हमारा के पॉइंट रहता है तो हमारी लेवल ऑफ एक्यूरेसी हमेशा हाई आएगी। लेकिन जैसे जैसे आपने डेटा सेट बढ़ते गए तो आपके पॉइंट्स, के पॉइंट्स आप ऐड करते गए, उसके अकॉर्डिंग आपका के की पोजीशनिंग बदलती गई। जैसे जैसे बदलती गई, राइट, तो उसकी लेवल ऑफ एक्यूरेसी थोड़ा सा डिप हो गई, एंड फाइनली द रिजल्ट ऑन द 20th पोजीशन, दैट इज व्हाट लाइक के। अब इस छोटे छोटे पॉइंट्स हैं, बट इफ यू कंपेयर एंड यू फाइंड द डेटा यू विल गेट द गुड रिजल्ट्स, राइट। So try to learn and understand what is this all about, how it works, how it performs, ठीक है। and what is the best value, the k performs cross validation at 6। देखो ये कह रहा है ना 6 पे हाई था, जैसे बेस्ट वैल्यू कौन सी थी आपकी, तो बेस्ट के वैल्यू कब निकली आप ये चार्ट में से चेक कर सकते हो, जब लेवल ऑफ एक्यूरेसी ऑलमोस्ट 89% थी, राइट। सो सेम वे अगर उसकी के की वैल्यू लेट से 6 है, तो इसी की ट्रेनिंग जो करेंगे, ट्रेन करेंगे ना इंजन को, तो जब आपका इंजन ट्रेन होगा तो आगे फर्दर ट्रेनिंग करने के लिए व्हाई डोंट विल टेक इट के एज 6, बिकॉज इसमें पता चल रहा है के इज बेटर इन 6, राइट। सो आई जस्ट प्लेस part of it, let's say run now, the best k value that is 6. So on that 6, let's copy the content, place that content and run that content for training। तो आपका prediction xy coordinate को आपने train कर दिया, and once you trained, now let us go for evaluation of more matrix value। तो we'll take it back, paste your values, right, this is your prediction for 6th point, classify, so import some headers, something wrong, okay, that's fine, copy and paste, execute, you get a confusion matrix. So classifications of both the prediction values, देखो F1 score better कब आया 89% पे, रिकॉल वैल्यू प्रिसीजन वैल्यूज और एक्यूरेसीज आपकी 90% पहुंच जाएगी, लगभग 90% पहुंच जाएगी जब आपका बेस्ट स्कोर वैल्यू 6 होगा, है ना. दैट इज व्हाट लाइक द पर्पस इज. जब आपने के की वैल्यू को 6 प्रिडिक्ट करके फाइनल किया और 6 पे अपने सिस्टम को ट्रेन किया, and accordingly you will find that your level of accuracy reached to 90%. You can display what is the purpose of then confusion matrix, how to solve this, all both classes being placed, the best k value being defined, and जो best k value आपने ली उसकी उसके अकॉर्डिंग आपने क्लासिफिकेशन रिपोर्ट बनाया और ये आपका एक्यूरेसी आ गया, एक्यूरेसी लेवल आ गया हमारा 90%. दिस इज 90% एक्यूरेसी, विच इज गुड टू गो, राइट. किस तरह से एक्यूरेसी भी ठीक करते हैं, चेक करते हैं, उसकी वैल्यूज चेक करते हैं. दिस इज द वे हाउ यू कैन फाइंड सी यू गॉट अ 90% रिजल्ट. एंड फर्दर लेट्स ट्राई टू विजुलाइज. So copy, let's paste, visualize this boundaries and all and get your content out of it. ये कुछ ऐसा डायग्राम टाइप आपका डेटा आ जाएगा. ओके, कुछ मिसिंग है क्या क्या. XX ravel, what is XX? XX and YY. Yeah, XX not defined. How could they write XX? Best KNN prediction method. And how can we get these values of X ravel and YY ravel? We don't have XXYY. Okay, that's fine. That is X train and Y train. There is an error. Not defined. Although Spring already compiled. तो ये ना प्लेटफॉर्म्स के साथ भी चैलेंज आता है. हमारा वाला ये कोड रन हो गया है. इनफैक्ट उनके खुद के प्लेटफॉर्म पे वो कोड रन नहीं हो रहा है. बट जबकि ये कोड हमारे पास रन हो गया है, दैट इज द फिफ्थ लोकेशन, राइट. दिस इज हाउ इट वर्क्स एंड वी ट्राइड एंड इट रन्स सक्सेसफुली. दैट्स नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम. ओके, तो देन ओनली वी फाइंड द कंफ्यूजन मैट्रिक्स. तो ये छोटी छोटी चीज़ें होती हैं जब टेस्टिंग करते हैं ना, तो आपको चेक करना है वही है कि एग्जैक्ट एरर्स क्या हैं. तो आप इस चीज़ों पे थोड़ा सा डिबगिंग करेंगे तो यू विल फाइंड बेटर सॉल्यूशन, आई वुड से. अब ये एक्स एक्स कहाँ से ले आया Use the final trained model of best KNN to predict the labeled value of 2D grid, mesh grid of XXYY. Reshape the prediction Z to match the grids. Create plotting plots showing. In prediction, we are supposed to pass X test. कुछ T2D mesh grid डाउनलोड करना है क्या SNS स्कैटर प्लॉट में डालने के लिए कॉमा वाई वाई ऑब्जेक्ट क्या है Z बेस्ट अंडरस्कोर KNN anything called best underscore KNN. Yes, this is what, and we are supposed to process only X test data. Okay, तो X test data डालते हैं इसमें. अब ये डाल रहा है पता नहीं कौन सा डेटा ले आया है NP से. NP में से यानी numpy का यूज करके .c इसने mesh की वैल्यूज उठाई है कहीं से. SNS ये रहा स्कैटर प्लॉट. तो हमें वो ठीक करना पड़ेगा. X एंड Y कर देते हैं सिंपल. फीचर 1 फीचर 2. लेट्स ट्राई X एंड Y. Access in a capital letter. Okay. X and Y. X test. X test. X underscore test. ओके गुड. ये हो तो गया है. रीशेप क्यों करना है रीशेप नहीं करते. और XXYY फाइन। तो जो डेटा सेट इसमें आ रहा है प्रिंट कराने के लिए, काउंटर एफ है, कुछ काउंटर एफ, काउंटर एफ मेथड कहाँ है हमारा? बेसिकली ये प्लॉटिंग ही कर रहा है और तो कुछ भी नहीं, कि एक्स और वाई का जो डेटा आ रहा है आपका, वो किस प्रोसेस से आया है, और हाउ वी कैन विजुलाइज डिसीजन बाउंड्रीज फॉर द बेस्ट वैल्यू ऑफ के, तो उसके अकॉर्डिंग ही परफॉर्म कर रहा है। बट आई थिंक हम इसकी जगह फिलहाल ये वाला ले लेते हैं, क्योंकि जो बेस्ट प्रेडिक्शन हमने किया था इस पे किया था, और फाइनली उसके बेसिस पे हमने कंफ्यूजन मैट्रिक्स क्रिएट किया था, राइट? इसके अकॉर्डिंग अगर हम देखें तो ये तो पहले ही एरर में अटक गया है। नो, यू कांट रन आउट ऑफ इट। ओके, ये उसके बाद आपको लॉग इन करना पड़ेगा। आई थिंक यू मस्ट ट्राई, देन ओनली यू विल गेट द आउटपुट्स। ये जो डिसीजन ट्री इसने बनाया है बेस्ट वैल्यू ऑफ के पे, तो जो वैल्यूज़ आ रहे हैं, ये वैल्यूज़ को ये चाह रहा है कि इन वेरिएबल्स में ले लें, एक्स एक्स और वाई वाई, बट आई बिलीव इट इज़ अनेबल टू फेच दैट डेटा, और इसी वजह से आपका ये एक्स एक्स वाई वाई और ये सारा स्कैटर प्लॉट ही नहीं बनेगा जब तक आपके पास एक्स और वाई डेटा साथ में चाहिए, राइट? तो इंस्टेड ऑफ गोइंग इनटू दिस मेस, हम कुछ और कर सकते हैं क्या? क्योंकि वी डोंट हैव दैट डेटा सेट, वी हैव टू फिगर आउट वेयर इज़ दैट डेटा सेट, क्योंकि ये 2D के मैश ग्रिड में से वैल्यूज़ को कह रहा है कि टू प्रिडिक्ट द लेबल, कुछ भी रैंडम वैल्यूज़ लेते हैं एक्स एक्स वाई वाई, बट ये एनपी वाला मेथड जो है, ये मेथड रन नहीं कर रहा है एग्जैक्टली। सो दैट इज़ अ प्रॉब्लम विद दिस डॉट सी मेथड, right? That's a problem with dot c method, and whatever is there, then we'll have to find out where is these values all about. तो डेटा सेट लाना है, मतलब बेसिकली इट्स अ डेटा सेट विच यू नीड टू अप्लाई ऑन द new best values. Okay, and where we have that model of scatter, do we have any scatter value? C, CV scores, arguments n के साथ कर रहा है ना? सी here we have the data set. तो फिगर साइज जो है ये लिया था, और ये डेटा सेट है आपका। ओके, तो हम इसको एक बार विजुलाइज करके देख लेते हैं, बिकॉज एवरीथिंग इज कमिंग इन द फॉर्म ऑफ डीएफ, और हमारे पास वहाँ डेटा सेट किस में आया है? वो आया हमारा जी में, वहाँ पर हमने जी वेरिएबल लिया है। तो आई थिंक दिस इज वन ऑफ द वे वी कैन ट्राई कॉपी। Okay. So you got a figure size same, then simply you transfer your data into the plot, है ना? तो हम इसको फिलहाल के लिए सबको स्कैटर प्लॉट को चाहिए स्केल्ड डेटा। तो हमारे पास डेटा इज इक्वल्स टू डीएफ की जगह डेटा हमारा आ रहा है जी में। लेट्स वी हैव जी जी and rest you featured set values print title and everything is same. So let me try. बाकी सब तो सेम ही रहता है। ओके अब कहाँ है दिक्कत, जी से डेटा नहीं लिया इसने। साइज 800 600 विद ओके। फिगर साइज आपका तो मतलब ग्राफिक्स का, अच्छा ये भी चीज़ देख लेना क्योंकि हम लोग इसमें हैं जुपिटर में है एंड व्हाट इज द रेजोल्यूशन यू वांट एंड दैट रेजोल्यूशन शुड बी कंपैटिबल। वो कई बार उसकी वजह से भी लगता है कि सो फिगर साइज इज दिस विद 0 एक्सेस। ओके एंड व्हाट इट इज सेइंग सी बॉन्ड लाइब्रेरी से डेटा नहीं ले पाया। Okay. डीएफ था ना हमारा डेटा, समथिंग लाइक दैट। वो वाला तो नहीं एग्जैक्टली exactly निकला सेम ये वाला, क्योंकि मैंने ये वाला जो कंडेंस्ड डेटा और एक्यूरेसी बढ़ा रहा है एक्चुअली जब बेस्ट वैल्यू 6 है। तो फिगर में थोड़ा सा आपको गैप्स नज़र आ सकते हैं बट 6 बेस्ट वैल्यू निकालने के लिए एक्स टेस्ट हमने डाला है और इसके पास इसका अपना वैल्यूज़ हैं इसलिए वो वैसा डेटा सेट आ रहा था। बट हमने वही चीज़ को दोबारा यहाँ पे रिपीट करा है कि प्रिडिक्ट करते हैं के सेट में बेस्ट प्रिडिक्शन में और रिजल्ट्स निकालने की कोशिश की है। बेस्ट टाइटल फिगर टाइटल बेसिक है 2D है क्योंकि ये ह्यूज पैटर्न सेट 1। ओके तो rest all is fine but only the part where we are supposed to check where is this B best K. लॉजिक समझ में आ रहा है किस तरह से सॉल्यूशंस हम लोग निकालते हैं और कैसे आप डीबग करते हैं। तो आई ट्राई टू गिव यू लॉट ऑफ इनपुट्स इन दिस। कोई डाउट है अभी तक किसी को, कोई चैलेंज कोई डाउट? ओके गुड, क्लियर हो रहा है ना सुविधा? गुड, एटलीस्ट यू आर आंसरिंग, थैंक यू। ओके ये हमारी अब ये वाली क्लास भी कंटिन्यूटी में है 1 to 4 आपकी। तो 10 to 1 1 to 4 ये सारी कंटिन्यूटी में है। और आप लोग प्लीज़ एक बार अपने मशीन लर्निंग के सारे सेशंस और एआई के सेशन से एक बार कंप्लीट कर लीजिए, राइट। एंड मुझे लगता है हम अगर 29 30th को अगर हम वो ले लेंगे ना, आपका 2 to 9 वाला आर लैंग्वेज के साथ, अगर आपने किया है तो आर लैंग्वेज से कर लीजिए, अगर रह गया है तो ये सारे जो स्टेप्स मैं बता रहा हूँ आप एक बार फॉलो कर लीजिए। ठीक है, तो आर लैंग्वेज का भी मैंने आपको एक इंट्रोडक्शन तो दे दिया कि एटलीस्ट यू विल फाइंड फ्रॉम वेयर यू कैन लर्न आर लैंग्वेज एंड फाइंड द प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट सेशंस जो उसमें लिखे हैं, आप उसमें सेशंस उठाइए, उसका सॉल्यूशंस निकालिए, अपने पास कोड रेडी कीजिए और देन एटलीस्ट यू कैन एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ इट वर्क्स। प्रैक्टिकल्स कुछ इस तरह से रेडी कीजिए। ऑल राइट, सो आई थिंक नाउ इट्स योर कॉल। आप लोग प्रैक्टिकल कीजिए, किसी का कोई डाउट आता है अपनी मशीन शेयर कीजिए ऑनलाइन, आई विल चेक व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम इन योर मशीन। अगर कहीं कोई कोड रन नहीं हो रहा है तो आई कैन हेल्प यू, बट स्टार्ट वर्किंग ऑन इट। ठीक है जी, तो आई थिंक प्लीज़ प्रोसीड। आप प्रैक्टिकल्स कीजिए, अगर फिर भी कोई डाउट आता है तो मुझे बताइए। तो कैसे कैगल से हमने KNN लिया है और कैसे हमने अपना गीक फॉर गीक से लिया है, एटलीस्ट यू कैन प्रैक्टिस एंड यू कैन ट्राई दिस। इनफैक्ट कोडिंग तो एक तरफ, ये चीज़ें भी सीखे। मार्कडाउन एक कैटेगरी है, अगर आप यहाँ देखेंगे, देखिए बीच में ना मैंने कुछ चीज़ों को मार्कडाउन करा है। ये देखिए, ये जो डिज़ाइन लुक एंड फील आता है, ये बेसिकली कंटेंट को आपको मार्कडाउन में करना होता है, तब आता है। और अगर आप देखेंगे मार्कडाउन के लिए कुछ कैरेक्टर सेट्स हैं, जैसे मैंने हैश स्पेस टेक्स्ट लिखा तो वो अपने आप बोल्ड हो गया, ब्लू कलर में आ गया। इस कोड को जब आप रन करेंगे तो वो ऐसा लुक एंड फील दे रहा है, राइट। तो ये कंटेंट होता है मार्कडाउन का। आप एक बार जुपिटर पे जाके कैसे मार्कडाउन्स क्रिएट करते हैं और अपना डेटा को आप किस तरह से प्रोसेस कर सकते हो, लुक एंड फील दे सकते हो, आप वो सारा मार्कडाउन में देख सकते हो, राइट। सो आप जुपिटर जुपिटर मार्क डाउन चीट शीट्स देख सकते हो। ठीक है, तो ये मार्कडाउन की चीट शीट्स हैं कि जैसे आपने हेडिंग देना है तो हैश लगाना है, हेडिंग नंबर 2 देना है तो 2 हैश लगाने हैं, 3 हेडिंग देने हैं तो 3 हैश लगाने हैं। इट इज़ जस्ट लाइक दैट, राइट। बोल्ड करना है तो डबल स्टार लास्ट में, डबल स्टार किसी भी डेटा को, है ना। अनऑर्डर्ड लिस्ट मतलब एस्ट्रिक लगा दीजिए या हाइफन या प्लस लगा दीजिए, तो वो आइटम वो जो होते हैं ना डॉट्स और बुलेट्स आ जाएंगे। आप अगर वन लिख के आगे कुछ लिखेंगे तो दैट वुड बी विद स्पेस, वन डॉट स्पेस, तो ये ऑर्डर्ड लिस्ट बन जाएगी। ओके, तो सिंगल कोट डबल कोट्स में अगर आप डेटा लिखना चाहते हैं तो डबल कोट देन सिंगल कोट, आपका जो है इनलाइन ब्रैकेट्स चाहिए आपको इस तरह से, राइट। तो आप कुछ ये बेसिक चीट शीट्स हैं, आप इसका ट्राई करेंगे, आपको आइडिया हो जाएगा हाउ वी आर सपोज टू प्लान दिस पार्ट। इटैलिक्स लगाना है तो एस्ट्रिक टेक्स्ट या अंडरस्कोर टेक्स्ट, और बोल्ड है तो अंडरस्कोर अंडरस्कोर या डबल एस्ट्रिक एस्ट्रिक, ओके। और अनऑर्डर्ड में एस्ट्रिक, देन आइटम नंबर या हाइफन या प्लस फॉलोड बाय स्पेसेस। तो यही आपका, जैसे हमें ये चाहिए था, से सेवेंथ पॉइंट को अगर मैं ले लूँ, where is my seventh point? Yeah, this is what I want, suppose. And let's say first line is up to this, ठीक है। तो इसमें मैं, yeah, now you got a proper values, तो asterisk space, asterisk space, asterisk space, asterisk space। अब इसको शिफ्ट एंटर करके रन करेंगे, सेवेंथ पॉइंट आप देख सकते हो एग्जैक्टली वैसा बन गया जैसा आप चाहते हो। अंडरस्टूड किस तरीके से हम ये चीट शीट्स का यूज़ करते हैं? सेम वे आप ऐसे ही आपके जो जो पॉइंट्स हैं आप उसके आगे एस्ट्रिक स्पेस लगा के आप कैलकुलेशंस और डेटा को पूरा प्रोसेस कर सकते हैं। दिस इज़ द वे हाउ यू कैन मैनेज, राइट। ये क्या हो गया? हेडिंग हैश स्पेस, डबल हैश दे देता तो सेकेंड थर्ड हैश के लिए 3 हैशेस। So same way you can perform and you can see your sixth position how it works. Correct? तो ये थोड़ा सा आप देख लेंगे, आपको आइडिया हो जाएगा किस तरीके से ये सारी चीज़ें मैनेज होती हैं। Hope you understood how we are supposed to perform all these things. क्योंकि ये बड़ा डाउट होता है कि कैसे ये बना और क्या क्या आया, राइट। ये लुक एंड फील कैसे आएगा, बिकॉज फाइनली तो आपको कंटेंट ऐसा ही चाहिए ना। देन आगे सारे हैं, ओके। नहीं तो फाइनली सारा कंटेंट पैराग्राफ फॉर्म में आ जाता है, दैट्स अ प्रॉब्लम। इन दिस वे आई थिंक नाउ यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड दैट वाज अ हेडिंग, a paragraph, then bullets, and then some heading and then some points. ठीक है जी, कर लीजिए ये सारा, और फिर कुछ रहता है तो बताइए। राइट, so we can write like this, it's a KNN को इसमें डाल देते हैं, एंड it works by this. ठीक है जी. Hope now you got your point. What is this all about? One dot. ठीक है जी. परफेक्ट. सो फाइन. थैंक यू सो मच. आप लोग प्रैक्टिस कीजिए. कुछ डाउट्स आते हैं, कोई प्रॉब्लम आती है तो मुझसे पूछिए. सो आई एम ऑनलाइन. आप लोग प्लीज़ प्रैक्टिकल कीजिए. कहीं कोई अटकती है किसी की मशीन में, कहीं कोई डाउट है तो आप लोग शेयर कर सकते हैं अपना स्क्रीन. और कहीं डाउट है तो आई विल चेक इफ आई कैन हेल्प यू. सो मीनवाइल you should start practicing all your codes, right? Take care. So I'm online. If you want any support, please let me know.